evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. Croatia's economy grew 3.4% in the final quarter of 2016, according to the latest projections from the State Statistics Bureau. The last time Croatia saw this kind of growth was in the first quarter of 2008. These latest numbers exceeded expectations.
For the first time since we started measuring, exports exceeded 50% of the GDP. This is encouraging. However, we should be aware that other economies have 80% of the GDP in exports. We're ending the year with growth of 2.9%, the highest rate since before the recession, and that's good news. This is significant with respect to the initial projections of 2%. We drafted the budget based on 2% growth. Now we have 2.9%, and they even said our 2% projections were overly optimistic.
Prime Minister Andrej Plenković's government has found a way to shield households from a major increase in their natural gas bills. The government announced this afternoon gas prices for households would remain the same. Croatia is preparing to further liberalize its natural gas market on April 1st, after which prices would be set by the market. However, the market price of natural gas has gone up by 20% over the past year. The government will adjust administrative costs that figure into the price to offset a price hike.
I think that the very good and detailed negotiations we've had with all of the parties involved have put us on track to define a price with our main provider, HEP, in such a way that consumers will not feel a price hike.
Croatia's declining birth rate and its effect on the pension system were addressed at a demographics conference in Zagreb today. Presenting the government's policy strategy, Prime Minister Plenković underscored that demographics were a key issue that will shape the country's future economic and social development. The fate of a Slovenian company that employs 1,200 workers in Croatia hangs in the balance after an Italian buyer pulled out of a deal to buy the auto parts maker Cimos. The purchase had hinged on Croatia and Slovenia settling the company's debt to a Croatian bank, which they did. Now, the Slovenian government says the state-owned company will be restructured over 3 to 5 years through the country's so-called bad bank, an institution set up to take on toxic debt. A police sharpshooter accidentally injured 2 people during a speech by French President François Hollande in Vilognon. The safety on the marksman's rifle was reportedly off. A waiter and a worker at the event suffered light wounds. An investigation is underway. U.S. President Donald Trump has told Fox News that he believes Barack Obama is behind a string of national security leaks and the protests against Republican lawmakers. President Trump offered no evidence for his claims. After a highly turbulent first few weeks in office, Trump is set to deliver his first address to a joint session of Congress tonight. He has announced a $54 billion increase in defense spending. German police carried out 24 raids today in Berlin at locations with links to a mosque frequented by the Christmas market attacker. The Tunisian asylum seeker killed 12 people when he plowed a stolen truck into the crowded market on December 19th.
With this blow to Islamist terrorism, Berlin is sending a clear message that there is no place in this city for those who oppose liberal democracy and commit or endorse violence.
Former members of one of Croatia's best-known choirs gathered for a special concert to celebrate the 80th birthday of one of Croatia's foremost conductors, Vladimir Kranjčević. The Ivan Goran Kovačić Academic Choir performed with the maestro, who is retiring this year after a career spanning nearly 6 decades. Borna Ćorić has advanced to the second round of the Mexican Open in Acapulco. The 20-year-old Croatian bested local favorite Lucas Gomez in less than an hour. The score was 6-1, 6-1. Marin Cilic will play Ukrainian Alexander Dolgopolov today. A victory for the Croatian would set up a Ćorić-Cilic matchup in the next round. In basketball, Zadar beat Šibenik Joli at home 84-72 Monday in the Croatian League. Zadar played brilliantly in the third and fourth quarters. They went from being 1 point down after 10 minutes to a 37-point lead. Šibenik managed to scale back their host lead to 12 points in the final quarter. The loss put Joli in second place in the rankings behind Split. Cibona and Šibenik are third and fourth. Cedevita is 5th. Zadar is in 6th place with an 11-7 record. The forecast calls for moderate to heavy clouds with rain overnight and on Wednesday morning. There will be rain and thunder showers on the coast and snow in the mountains. From midday on, conditions will gradually improve starting in the west. Expect a moderate northeasterly wind in the interior and northeasterly and northwesterly winds on the north and central sections of the coast. There will be a high southwesterly in the far south. Morning temperatures will range from 5 to 9 degrees inland, slightly cooler in the mountains, from 8 to 13 degrees on the coast. Wednesday's highs will be between 10 and 12 degrees for most of the interior, between 4 and 7 at higher elevations, and between 12 and 15 degrees on the Adriatic. From Thursday on, it will be partly sunny with variable clouds in the interior. The weather will be mostly dry and warmer. Only Thursday morning will be brisk with a chance of frost. Partly sunny skies are also expected on the coast from Thursday on. There is a slight chance of rain in the north, especially on Saturday. Light to moderate southwesterly and southeasterly winds will take us into the weekend and pick up speed on Saturday. And that brings us to the end of our program. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.